We spent a lot of time talking about the upper tier teams of the Big Ten making the college football playoffs. But what about the Iowa Hawkeyes? They're always sneaky good, good enough to win a lot of games. I will tell you how I think the Hawkeyes 2025 season is shaping up. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below while you're watching. We're this close to 20,000 subscribers. Want to get there before the start of football season. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Heralding the Hawkeyes today, Kirk Ferentz on the verge of history and a brutal section of a schedule we're going to look at here as well. But are you overlooking the Iowa Hawkeyes? Let's not do that. Let's pay some attention to them here. So 2025 season. We talk about a lot of things here with the upper echelon teams like, okay, Iowa, where are they in this pecking order? Clearly, Oregon is going to make another run at a Big Ten championship. They have higher aspirations. Penn State has aspirations of winning a national championship. In fact, if they don't, it's going to be considered a disappointing year. The Ohio State Buckeyes were just there. They want to repeat. New quarterback. We'll see how that goes. Except for Penn State, other teams do have new quarterbacks. It's going to be very interesting in the Big Ten. Iowa's got a new quarterback too. Then we usually default to the Michigans and the Indianas and the Illinois, and who else is going to jump in there and maybe be a fourth playoff team. What about the next group of good teams, but we really don't include them? Nebraska, I'm excited about Dylan Raiola and year number 2, but the Iowa Hawkeyes. And every year we do this, and there are always people that will hit me up and come, Iowa Hawkeyes, what are you talking about? But they're always good, and they always win more games than they lose. That's for sure. So how good can they be? And I thought it was worthy of some attention. Don't forget about USC, another team that's got to step back. Going to get hate mail from USC. I momentarily left them out. But yeah, with Iowa, look, they get overlooked because they're never flashy, right? They don't bring in 5 stars and 4 stars that run 4.2 40s and quarterbacks that throw for 80 yards at a time. That's not who Iowa is. It's not who Kirk Ferentz is. And so sometimes they get overlooked in some of these preseason conversations. And, the quarterback play has been a problem for them forever. Well, Cade McNamara did not work out. There was some excitement, but it didn't work out. Plus, he was injured. This is another team that completely ignores the wide receiver position, either in who they recruit or who they throw the ball to on Saturday. And that's not how we play football in this day and age. So, yeah, these are some of the reasons that Iowa gets overlooked. Now, what do they produce? They produce NFL quality tight ends, linebackers, linemen, running backs, the people that smash helmets and shoulder pads on every play. That's where they are good, and that's where they produce year in and year out. So they don't win a lot of high-scoring games, although last year kind of jumped up there a little bit, but they're not flashy. And I've told you time and time again, Iowa would just assume win a game 7-3, 6-3, heck, 6-2. Not giving up a field goal, maybe a safety. Or maybe they'll score a safety and win 9-3. And by the way, if they get a touchdown in a game, they would just assume it come from the defense or special teams. They don't care if it's offense. But that's Iowa football, right? A lot of Iowa fans sometimes get frustrated with that, but at the same time, it's a badge of honor. That's just how you play at Iowa. Remember, they were in the Big Ten championship game a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. Kirk Ferentz has lasted, this is year 27, by the way, coaching this way. And he's one win away from Woody Hayes' all-time Big Ten win total. That's how good he is. So let's take a look at this Hawkeyes team, 2025. What do we expect? Well, let's start and end really with the quarterback position because Mark Gronowski is coming in from South Dakota State. And from what I see, there's a little bit of optimism. I don't want to jump on the hype train yet. There's a little bit of optimism, and people feel like, oh, maybe this will be something special. They've solved their quarterback problem there at Iowa. Now, let's admit it. This is kind of the same vibe we had when Cade McNamara was coming, and it didn't work out. Oh, Cade McNamara from Michigan. Michigan's a playoff team. Now he's going to be quarterback at Iowa, and it just was a borderline disaster. Didn't really work out. And Michigan's not South Dakota State or vice versa. So what kind of competition did this guy get at South Dakota State? Now, he did get him to the FCS semifinals in 2023. So I'm going to take a little bit of a wait and see approach here on him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I hope it works out. But I think their whole season rides on how good this kid can be at quarterback. Plus, you got to replace Caleb Johnson at running back. I have no doubt whoever is tight end 1 on the depth chart is going to be an NFL guy because that's just what happens at Iowa. And their defense is going to be good and their linebackers are going to be good. No, I don't even worry about that. That's just an automatic given. I think this season starts and ends with quarterback play again at Iowa. So, let's look at this schedule real quick and how we did a win totals a couple of weeks ago. Well, a big key is that, and it always is, that Iowa State game, the big rival game in state. It's at Iowa State this year, but if you can get that one, you got a 3-game stretch. It's pretty tough in the Big Ten, or 3 teams. You got Indiana, Penn State, and Oregon. But you know what you have in common with all 3 of those teams? You got them all at home. You got them all at home. I mean, Penn State, Oregon, those are some of the toughest places to play in the country, but they're coming to Iowa, Kinnick Stadium, which isn't too easy to play at either, particularly if it's a night game. I think if you win Iowa State and you win one of the 3, Indiana, Penn State, or Oregon, and look, I admit it, you got a tough game at USC and close out a tough one at Nebraska. I think they win the rest of those. But yeah, if you win at Iowa State and you can get one of the 3, maybe Indiana, Penn State, Oregon, one of those 3, I think you win 8 games. And again, 8 wins. That's another really good season. Again, not quite good enough to be in that playoff conversation that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, but another good season out of nowhere for Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Hawkeye fans, let's hear from you. Let's get some comments going back and forth on your true expectations. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And that way you'll never miss a single episode of Lockdown Big Ten. And don't forget our podcast, talkbig10.com as well for our podcast. And that's on our website, podcast, and also merchandise. But yeah, you hit that subscribe button. We're this close to 20,000 subscribers for the start of the season. Would love to have you help us out there. I got a final word in just a minute regarding the playoff format, since we're talking about playoffs and where we think we're going with that, how it involves Big Ten and the SEC. All that coming up in 1 minute right here on Lockdown Big Ten. Game time. Get it. If you need tickets, anything, Game Time takes all the stress out, saves you money. I know summertime we like to go to concerts. Concert tickets right there. Don't go on all those other websites or whatever. Use the Game Time app. Get the tickets. Get them easy. It takes the stress on a shopping forum out, and then you and your friends and your family can have a great time. Game Time makes it getting concert tickets faster and easier. And did you know the prices actually drop the closer it gets to actual showtime, in case you're making a last-second decision here? Yeah. They also have the Game Time's Zone Deal Picks. Helps you find the best ticket right away instead of searching all the tickets. So, and if you ever wonder what the view from your seat is going to look like before you buy the ticket, you see it right there on your phone or however you use the app right there. A picture from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy before you hit enter and go. Take all the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKDOWNCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and the redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, lots going on here. I want to get to here. Enjoyed our conversation about the Iowa Hawkeyes. We got a lot of stuff coming up this week. Don't forget Big Ten Media Days, July 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Kirk Ferentz will be there as well in Las Vegas. We'll keep an eye out for all that and the excitement of the upcoming season. Practice starts, and then we're good. Season is here. We're going to be all about it right here on Locked On Big Ten. Also, something I think we're going to keep an eye on for tomorrow's podcast regarding the future of the college football playoffs, because I can't agree. 12 teams, 16 teams, who gets in, who doesn't. SEC media days are going on, and Commissioner Greg Sankey has acknowledged that he, the Big Ten, and the ACC, and the Big 12, nobody agrees on the right way to go forward because they all have different. They think they all have different advantages with different plans. The 5+11 format, the 4-4-2-2-3-1 format with automatic qualifiers. Greg Sankey said, "Hey, you know what?" And by the way, he talked to Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, for like 4 of the 5 days last week. They talk all the time trying to iron this out. He said, "Look, man, worst case scenario, we got a format. It's 12 teams, 5 conference champions get in." And I'm for that, by the way, because I'm anti-expansion anyway. I think going to 16 is dumb. I am on the record on this podcast as to why. I'll be glad to talk to you again about it. But for now, this wouldn't be the worst thing to just say, you know what? Can't agree on anything. Let's keep it at 12. I like it. Get your thoughts on that too. Hit me up on the comment section. We'll talk about that more in our full-length podcast tomorrow. In the meantime, interact with us on Twitter or X at TalkBig10, our website, talkbig10.com, where you can check that out. That's with the number 10, our podcast and merchandise, all there at your fingertips. And it's talkbig10.com. Check us out for a second listen. Maybe you missed yesterday's podcast. We did 2 of them yesterday, 2 of them today. Check it out. We're just cranking them out. This is your place for all things Big Ten, all 18 teams, news, opinion, analysis, all under one umbrella right here. Also, if you want to check out a second listen, our friend Brian Smith does the Portal Show, all things transfer portal. That podcast, it's doing pretty good. It's not bad. So check that out. The Portal on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. That'll do it for us here on Locked On Big Ten. I always appreciate you being here each and every day. Feel free to tell your friends about us, and we can't wait till we see you again tomorrow. I'm Craig Sheeman.